Left, I said I was going to go over this topic, the critical race theory. And it's kind of been a hot topic, and this is what I want to say about it. I said in the Ankeny school system here in Iowa, they had a meeting this last week and had a professor from Iowa State come down and talk, and kind of display some of the myths behind it. So I understand how nobody loves the ugly truth, right? No, everybody hides from the ugly truth, right? And racism, and I said this last week, racism is America's ugly truth. It is. It just is. It's just what it is. This whole country, the economic system. Now, this land was not founded on racism, but the economic climate and the system that we currently have and that we have had is based on racism. Classism, racism, all of it. It's all wrapped into one. Now, because of that, and now because, the woke era, and how technology and way we can like kind of get information nowadays is so readily available, it's out there. So you used to back in before the internet, you could tell stories. You tell stories, or you read book. People put stuff in books. You'd have to go get a book and read and find out about these things. Somebody would tell you that you trust and get information from, and tell you about these things. But now with the internet, it's so readily available. So now the ugly truth is exposed. Now, everybody doesn't know it, but it's exposed. And now because you can just go to YouTube and type in a subject matter, and things of those subject matters can pop up. Now, this is the scary part of it, all right? The scary part is some of the stuff will be fake. Some of the stuff is based off small parts of information, okay? So what we want to protect is the truth. Now, America dodges the truth. We don't ever want to talk about the truth, right? Our justice system, innocent until proven guilty. Even if the evidence shows the person is totally guilty, you're still based on innocence, right? That's how the system is designed. But it doesn't operate that way. It depends on how much money you have. That's where the classism comes in, all right? Because if you have enough money, guess what? You don't even have to sit in jail. You can get a bond. Unless your crime is super heinous and you don't have a good enough lawyer that can prove that, you should get a bond, right? You got to do something really, really out there for them to revoke your bond. But if you got money, you don't have to sit in jail. Even when you get charged with something, you can go home until your court date. But if you're poor, you got a bond, you can't afford a bond, you got to sit in jail until your court date. Classism. Easy example of it. The thing of critical race theory, I guess some of the opponents of why I teach that, and I think it's definitely necessary because I would love as a youngin to understand where I come from, why the system is set up like this, and why Black people are behind. Because it was always taboo and little things in the air that, Black people are lazy or Black people take the easy way out, right? I never believed that. I never fed into that. I never shared any of those crappy ideas. But that was a thing that was floating out there. I heard these things. But that's not factual. Matter of fact, most Black people got to work twice as harder than their counterparts to even get noticed, right? So as a youngin, if you don't understand, and I was saying this thing earlier about how, and the hardest thing to talk about is religion, right? Because everybody got their own thing, and you have your right to have your own thing. But if you got two segments, you have a segment of society of white people, you have a segment of society of Black people. And as a child, if you're raised in a household in the pictures of Jesus, which is supposed to be, the Messiah, and it's supposed to be the Son of God, and he's white, the pictures every time you see him, even in Black people homes, Black people that have pictures of Jesus in their homes, and he'd be white. Black people would have figurines of Jesus in their homes, and he'd be white. He'd be white face, pale face, brown, stringy hair. Okay? So as a child, if you think that everything white, everything connected to good is white, then you think something's wrong with you. Naturally, you want to aspire to be that. You want to be white. I've never had a complex where I want to be white, but I can get that, especially if you're mixed. If you're a mixed child, then and you don't know your father, or if you don't know your Black side of family, I could definitely see how you could be confused. The critical race theory has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the history of the country and why Black people are behind. That's what it does. It's supposed to teach the true history of what the founding fathers was, who they were, why society was, why the laws are set up like this, why the financial institutions are set up like this, and what was done to prevent people of other colors, not just Black, from progressing. Redlining, voting depression, restrictions, right? Suppression. I don't know why I said depression. Voter suppression. These are the things that were set up to keep Black people from advancing. Because in this country, if you don't own anything, you don't exist. You're marginalized. And land is the most important commodity that you can own because they're not making more of it. Every part of land that's on this country is owned by somebody, been passed on and down like that. There's no new land. There's space. That's why they try to go to space, right? Because there's plenty of stuff out there. There's a lot of land out there. You can buy you a planet. But yeah. So if you keep Black people in poor, undeveloped areas, dilapidated areas, where landfills used to be, where old factories used to be, then they can't progress because the land is invaluable. It's not even valuable. So how do we get wealth? Most white families in this area, the way they send their children to college, it ain't through scholarships. It's they get a loan. They get a loan on their mortgage, on their home, on their land. They get a loan, send their kid to school. If you don't own a home, you can't get a loan like that. So how do Black families send their kids to school if you don't own a home? Right? It's the wealth. Me, I can talk about me and myself. My mother, I love my mother. My mother's a great woman. But my mother was a single parent because her and my father separated. And my mother moved to public housing. Technically known project housing, but my mother moved to public housing. Because it was only two ways for her to make it. Okay? She either had to hustle or she had to get some assistance from the government until she could get herself right. So I'm a product of housing, public housing. Now, I didn't live there my whole life, but I lived there. And we talking about me. We ain't got to go way, way, way back. So if this country does not accept what they did and keeps trying to find ways and loopholes to not face the reality, if you got a woman and you hurt her feelings and you did something wrong to her, she's not going to forgive you until you acknowledge what you did. She's not going to just let you sweep it under the rug. She's not going to have any closure or be able to move on forward with you until you realize what you did, accept it, acknowledge it, and make up for it. That's how it works. Germany did that. Germany did that when the Nazis tried to exterminate and take the rights of the Jews, the Jewish people. Germany did that. They acknowledged it. They said, we're sorry. They outlawed all the swastikas. It is no statues of Hitler, no statues of no famous Nazis. There's no buildings named after them. None of that. But here in America, it's the federal FBI building, J. Edgar Hoover building. It's all kind of statues. It's all kind of memorabilia and stuff about Confederates and people who suppressed and killed Black people. It was against our rights. They still want to hold on to the racism because it's prideful. It's embedded in the DNA of this country. A lot of people in this country are under the falsehood that they earned the right to live here. They earned the right. They feel they earned the right. How did you earn the right? Because there was people here before Christopher Columbus came here. Before the first European on record, Christopher Columbus, before he got here, landed here, it was already people here. There's already indigenous people here. So how did you earn it? You earned it by killing the people? By killing indigenous people, you earned the land? That's murder. Ain't no statute of limitations on murder. You didn't earn it. So because we're here, I mean, Black people here too. There's Black people here before them slave ships came here too, though. Don't think all Black people came into America on slave ships, because they did not. Don't let them fool you. Oh no. We have to heal. That's what's missing. Germany did it. America thrives on racism. America thrives on fear. Be scared. Be scared. Oh, he's gonna do. Look at the big black guy. Scared. Lock the doors. Oh, it's a bad neighborhood. Lock the doors. What? It's America. You should be safe anywhere you go, as long as you ain't bothering nobody and watch where you're going. It's crime everywhere. So I'm a big component. I believe they should be teaching it, because if you teach what's going on, the new generation will know how to function. They will know how to react. They'll know how to mend defenses, and we can move forward with the bigger issues. It shouldn't have to take an alien from outer space to land or threaten this planet for us as people to get along, to come together, to realize that it's nothing different about us. It's nothing. It's classism. That's it. Different finance. Some people have different skills and get paid more. Some people don't. But you still got to take care of those. That's something else. You got this bill that's been passed, right? This budget that Biden been trying to get through. They don't want to give an infrastructure bill. They don't want to do it. I don't know. But also, I wanted to talk about the little kid Xavier. I did go over this last week on my show. And I'm not saying I'm responsible for any of that that happened Thursday, but they did say that they found some clothes. He's been missing since March or May. I think it might have been May. And they said they found some articles of clothing that matched the description that he had on the last time he was seen. And it was found outside his town. Last week I said something about the Gabby case and how they still haven't found this guy, Brian, I think his name is. And Dog the Bounty Hunter's on the case. Dog. There must be some money involved with Dog, and he ain't there just because be a good citizen. But anyway, I brought it up how it's weird how they're not looking for him as hard as they're looking for her. And I think they might have found him. I mean, not found him alive, but they said they found some remains of a young person. So my condolences go to his family. And I hope this brings some closure. But now they got to find out what happened. That's what I'm waiting here for. I'm waiting to find out what happened. Okay? How did his body get there, or how that body got there, if it's truly him, because they saying it's the clothes matching. What happened? Was he murdered? I mean, come on. Closure. What happened? Who did this to this little boy? Let's go. Right? So I'm going to keep my ear to the street on this case here, because I'm definitely interested in finding out what's going on with that. I think that's all I kind of want to talk about this week. It's starting to get cold out. Y'all be careful. Turn up tonight. Shout out to Iowa State for winning tonight. That's pretty dope. Next week, I will be here next week, I believe. Maybe. Should be. But I appreciate y'all. Check out the YouTube channel. That's Merle on the Move on YouTube. I'll be posting a video of this show. You see visuals of the show now, not just doing audio. You check out the visuals. So I'm turned up. This Merle on the Move. And Chuck D and the Don't Stop comes up next. Y'all stay tuned for him. Shout out to him. And I'm out of here. Peace.
Oh, come here, big fish. I be swimming in that.